Alright, so today we're going to be adding integers, and let's go ahead and look at two examples. Let's look at the number line. Remember, this starting number here is going to be our starting point. So notice 2 is where we start. This is our starting point. Okay, the arrow, the second number, is what we are moving. This number here is going to be the distance and direction. And then after the equal sign, this is where our stopping point is. Okay, so that's our starting point. We can clearly see that we started at 2. We're adding a -4, so we're moving to the left 4 spaces, and then our stopping point is at a -2. So we're going to use a number line today and do some examples together to make sure that we're following the number line procedures. All right, let's look at one using colored counters. All right, so we're going to use colored counters, and here we see that we have 5 negatives and 4 positives, and we're going to see the outcome of it. So we're going to make our 0 pairs. We have 1 0 pair, 2, 3, and 4, and we're left with 1 negative. And then now we can see here that this 1 negative is what's left over, so that is our answer. All right, so now let's practice using that both ways. We're going to solve by using the number line below. So remember, this 3 here, this is our starting point. This is where we're going to start. We're going to start at 3. So I'm going to start at 3, and I see that I need to add a -7. So that means I need to go 7 spaces to the left. Okay? So I'm just going to kind of count down here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to draw my arrow over to where I stopped. And my stopping point would be a -4. Okay? All right, we can practice doing that again. Here, this time we're going to use the colored counters. And we're going to keep on practicing using both ways, okay? So, for my counters, I'm going to put in 2 negative counters. So I'm going to put 1 and 2. And then I see I have 1 positive counter. So I'm going to put in 1 positive. Okay, now I'm going to see here that if I make a 0 pair, remember a 0 pair means 1 positive and 1 negative, so I'm going to see if I have any 0 pairs. And I do. I have 1 0 pair, and I see that I'm left with a -1 as my answer. Okay, so remember that's how we use the chips. We find the 0 pairs. All right, let's practice using that number line again. And remember today, you can choose which way you want to solve. Okay, so remember, if we're going to use the number line, this 2 is going to be our starting point. So we're going to start at a -2. Okay, and then we're going to add a -6. So we need to move 6 times in the left direction. Okay, because remember, the second number is distance and direction. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to move 6 times to the left. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to draw my arrow, and where I stopped was a -8. Okay? Remember, this is my stopping point. This is where I stopped. Okay? All right, let's try the counters again. We're going to try solving this problem by using counters. And again, today you can pick whichever method you feel more comfortable with. Okay, I see I have 4, and 4 is positive, so I'm going to draw 4 positives. And then I see that I have 6 negatives, so I'm going to draw 6 negatives. Okay, I'm now going to make my 0 pairs. Remember, a 0 pair has to have 1 negative and 1 positive. So I see here I have 1, 2, 3, 4 0 pairs, and what I'm left with is a -2, or 2 negatives. Okay? All right, we are going to try the number line one more time. And again, you're going to choose which method you like better today and solve the integers that way. All right, so here we're going to make sure that 4 is our starting point. So we're going to start at 4. So I'm going to find 4 on the number line, and that's where I'm going to start. Now, because my 3 is a negative, I'm going to go 3 times in the left direction. Remember, this number is distance and direction. So we're going to go over 1, 2, 3. And where we stop is a +1. So our answer will be a +1.